Hi, I am going to show you a quick tutorial on how to just kind of get started really quickly in Unity. Basically doing something like this. I'm just going to show you how to use some of the pre-made assets to get character controls and kind of a first-person perspective to get you started with terrain and just drop you right into the game without any programming, just so you can play around with it. So we'll come out with something like this. So to get started, when you first load up Unity, you'll probably have the Angry Bots project loaded. Whenever you load up Unity, you're going to have some sort of project loaded. So your last project will be the one that you will automatically open. So in order to create a new project, you go down to File, New, click New Project, and then you'll have this project wizard. You have to create kind of a new folder for your project. So I'm just going to call mine new tutorial. And the secret to this tutorial is we're just going to import a few assets that come with Unity. You can always program your own versions of these things, but this will make kind of getting started pretty easy if you don't know how to program. So you select in the import packages character controller. I'm going to do skyboxes and also terrain assets, which is assets of textures for trees and grass and rocks and things like that. So if you want to make terrain, those are useful. So character controller will give you kind of the WASD controls and mouse control for a first person or a third person, and skyboxes will make the sky look nice. So then you just click create project. I'm not going to save my old project. And it will take a few seconds to load all the different assets. Alright, so now we've got it loaded up, and you can see here there's nothing here. When you load up Unity, you might have the default screen set up. It might look something like this. So I prefer using the 2x3 setup. So if you go to this top right hand corner, click 2x3. It looks like this. When it first gives it to you, the project column has a double column, which is useless. You can't see what's going on. So if you click this little drop down menu, you can go one column, and now you have what you want. So that's my default style. This top box is kind of your editor. The bottom is kind of what the player sees. And that's about it to get started. So first thing I'm going to show you is how to create terrain. So you just click the create box here, go down to terrain, click it. Pretty simple. It automatically creates it for you. If you click on the Y, you can kind of see a top-down view. This is a giant piece of terrain, so you can make like a huge area with this. It's a big box. There's nothing to it. To make it look cool, you have to go over to this side, the inspector, and it gives you some buttons to click on with your terrain. Click on this up arrow, and what that will do is it will raise or lower terrain depending on what you're doing here. So if you're just using your left mouse button, you can raise terrain. Click a brush. So these are different ways to make them look interesting. A lot of times I just use the biggest circle brush. And then you can make it small or big, basically. So now this is kind of a smaller mountain thing, right? And then you can make it huge, and it's actually, because this map is so big, this isn't actually that big. Also, opacity will make the mountain taller or shorter for however long you press. So if you want to make kind of little foothills or just like a bump, you might want to make it low. If you want to try to make things big, make it 100. So you click on that. I'm going to do this corner here because the map's so big. It will be hard to see what's going on. So, and you can see in the main camera, if you want to move something around, hit this crosshair button here, up here, the arrows, and red will move along the x-axis, blue will move you forward and backward, it's the Z, and then green will actually move you up and down. This map right now, it's all gray. So you want to create a light, directional light. Just drop it in there. That looks good. Maybe you want to pull it up above so it's like the sun. So now we're looking over top of it. Okay. Right now it's all white. The trick to making terrain look cooler is, okay, so now you look on your tools again, there's a paintbrush. Paintbrush will drop a texture. If you want to just kind of fill in the texture, click on Edit Textures here and add a texture. And since we imported these terrain assets, there's lots of textures, terrain textures that we can use. So you click Select, find grass and rock or something like that, click OK. Now you just click Add. I just leave the normal blank for now. It automatically drops it all in there. So now you have a map with some color to it. Next thing you want to do to make this thing work is you can select a third-person controller, first-person controller. I've been using first-person, so I'm just going to show you that. If you grab it in your project folder, you can pull it. You can either drop it here in the hierarchy or just drop it somewhere on the screen where you want it. So I'm going to put it kind of close to our mountains so we can kind of look at these things. I'm going to drop it here. One thing to know, project is kind of where all of the objects that you can add to your game will be located, but aren't actually in your game. And the hierarchy is the actual objects that you've put in your game. So if you want something that's in your project folder in your game, you have to drag it over to the hierarchy. If you drag it onto the editor screen, it will automatically be in your hierarchy. So one thing, when you drop your first-person controller, which does all of your controls for moving your person around, gives you a camera with your eyes. The problem with this is he'll be stuck in the ground. So we're going to zoom in on him. Look, he's halfway in the ground. So the way to fix him is to use the crosshairs to move him, and just move him up. Just move him over the ground a little bit so he'll fall down to the ground when he plays. Alright, last thing I want to do, and again this video is getting long again, so is in the first person main camera, add component, rendering, skybox. Now it adds a custom skybox with none in it. Now if you go to skyboxes, click that. Oh, go back to your main camera, make sure you have that. So open up your skybox folder, then click back on your first person controller main camera, not the other one, and grab a cool skybox. So I'm going to use this one. So grab it and drop it onto this custom skybox. It will highlight. Now if you click play, maximize on play so you get full screen, click play. Now you have a land with a sky and a big mountain, and if you use the WASD controllers, you can move around, you can strafe sideways, and you can hop. This mountain might even be easy enough to move up. Yep, we're moving. So there you go. And you can look out on all the places you could be building next. And that's about it. So, tune in next time.